Wife!
Do you know what we're doing today?
We are officially wrapping up the book of Daniel.
I mean, we already wrapped it up. Today, what we're doing is, you're always wrong.
Sorry, I was wrong.
You were wrong.
Because I used the wrong words. And I said wrap it up. Which we already,
you meant
like
was,
I said, you said we already did that. We did.
What you meant was we're doing our final Daniel episode and then we're moving the fuck on.
Technically, I do still have the weekly recap. So,
of course,
kind of the last one. But yes.
We're recording.
The last recorded episode is today.
Yeah.
So this is it for Daniel.
Yeah, fuck Daniel.
So so I'm gonna be right today, right?
Nope.
Fuck.
You're always wrong.
All right. Are you ready to get into the contradictions?
I sure as fuck am.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, honey, are you ready to get into this? You're always wrong.
Honey?
Yeah.
You literally you don't call me that normally.
That's not true. Okay.
And then not often. I don't think you've ever called me that on the air.
I've never called you that on the air, but
I'm calling you out on it because I'm like, what?
I know you looked at me like, the fuck? I do call you that in real life.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Normally I call you babe.
Right.
Or boyfriend.
Yeah, so no, it was not completely unheard of in real life, but it was definitely out of character if it was real life. It was completely unheard of on the podcast. This is a first.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I was like, what?
And then you were just looking at me like, the fuck?
Well, because I'm like, what are you doing? What happened there?
Honey.
Yeah.
Are you ready to do You're Always Wrong?
Yes.
See, I started you off.
Right.
Now you're discombobulated.
Well, I was arguing with my wife, so I was definitely wrong right there. Yeah. That was bad start. Well, no, I guess if I'm always wrong, that's a good start. Yeah, I'm wrong.
You're discombobulated and flustered.
Sure. You just set me off with the right tone. That's all.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
All right. Number one. And this is a short one. We only have 3 questions here. Oh, wow. Because, Daniel's kind of like...
story form.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit in.
Yeah.
So these are all kind of like, we're just going to have fun with it. Okay?
Yeah.
Number 1, is it okay to drink alcohol? Yes or no? Those are your choices.
I'm going to go with no. Based on the people that came into town when who was it? It was Jeremiah, and he was praising the people. I can't remember what the name of the tribe was, but they didn't drink, and they with
oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think it was specific. I think that I know people drink that were godly, so obviously people did it, but I feel like maybe it's not right. I don't know.
Well, in Numbers, the Nazarites, like in Numbers chapter 6, the Nazarites were not supposed to drink.
Okay.
And then in Isaiah chapter 28, the priests and prophets were not supposed to drink.
Okay.
And then in Daniel, who is one of God's favorite people, right?
Yeah.
In chapter 1, he's like, no, thank you. I'm not supposed to drink.
So it's just certain people then.
And then Proverbs warns us all about drinking alcohol in chapter 20 and chapter 23. Oh. They're like, don't.
Okay. All right.
I think that was more don't drink it to excess.
Right.
But
that's the words that get tossed around mostly. But they definitely, there is a stigma associated with drinking.
Well, when me and you were getting married, there was a minute when my parents were thinking about not coming to our reception because there would be alcohol there.
Right.
And we were like, what?
Yep.
What? So, I mean, there are Christians who think that the Bible says don't drink.
Yeah. No, I don't. Whatever. And then you can think that if you want to. And it might even say that, but like.
But then we're also going to show that they are also always wrong.
Yeah.
In addition to Proverbs mentioning don't do it, Isaiah also warns us about drinking alcohol in chapters 5 and 28.
Got it. Why doesn't the Bible warn us about heroin?
It hadn't been invented yet.
But it's God. God should know about that.
God didn't talk to people about things that they would know nothing about.
Okay.
It didn't impact his people. So he knew, he just kept it to himself.
All right.
For reasons.
Maybe so. Magic mushrooms just grow wild. Were those okay? Did God approve those? Is that what Moses was on when he went? I doubt it. I know they're out west. I don't know.
I honestly have no idea.
But they existed on the planet, and God made the planet, so they existed in that time.
But much like heroin, if it didn't grow where his chosen people were, it didn't impact them. And that is the reason God doesn't mention things to the people. Right. That's the apologist perspective.
Okay.
The reason that God doesn't talk to his people about things that he should know about is not that he didn't know about them. It's that he didn't drown his people in information that they didn't need to know.
Got it. Okay.
So he also didn't talk to them about Netflix and chill or Facebook and how boomers should stay off of it and stuff like that.
I got it. Yeah.
All right. But guess what, dear?
Dear. Okay. Yeah, what?
You're always wrong.
Okay.
Because guess what?
What?
Of course you can drink alcohol. It's fine.
Right.
I mean, Proverbs, I always hate quoting Proverbs because that's just like a collection of poems or whatever.
Yeah, it seems just like kind of like the fake Bible.
It is, in my opinion.
It's like, here's a bunch of collections of shit. We didn't know where else to put them.
It's neither history nor story.
Right.
And that's why in Jewish books, they call it falls in the writings.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. It's stuff.
Sure.
It's the poetry section of the Bible.
But people ascribe a lot of meaning to those, especially in Christianity. I don't know how they do. I don't know how much meaning is ascribed to them in Judaism because I don't really you don't ever hear about those from a Jewish person.
Really only hear about the Tanakh and then history.
Right.
You don't really hear about the writings and you don't hear a lot about the prophets, honestly.
That would be an interesting discussion, I feel like. Talking about the things that are in the Jewish texts and how their take on them differ from the Christian version, we know that there are different things that you guys have a lot of the same stuff, but there's a few things that you have that they don't and vice versa. Right.
But that is even a different matter than, but how do you feel about those things?
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you start a new job, right? And you get the company handbook. So going in what all the rules are.
Yeah.
But you don't know the actual practice and feeling of the rules.
That's why you ask the person next to you, hey, what really matters here?
Yeah, exactly. I know that this says that we wear pink on Wednesdays, but how strict is that?
Right.
Or sometimes you'll go to a place and they're like, you absolutely have to wear black pants. And they stress that at the fucking interview. So you go in thinking, oh my God, I need to go get black pants. And so then you go shopping and you buy 3 or 4 pair of black pants.
And then you walk in, you're the only fucking person wearing black pants.
And they're like, oh, we don't take that seriously. You don't need to. And you're like, then what the fuck?
Right. Yeah.
So there's knowing the rules and there's knowing what's in the Bible, but then there's but how do you feel about that? And how are these rules actually practiced?
Yeah.
Kind of like don't murder and don't run a red light. Those are both rules, but we take don't murder a lot more seriously. You get punished a lot more hardcore than the don't run a red light.
Right.
I mean, you get in trouble, but you don't hypothetically.
I mean, to be fair, I've run a red light in downtown Dayton.
You did accidentally.
I don't drive cities very well.
No, you don't.
There's too many fucking lights. You look ahead of you, and I'm looking at 2 lights ahead, and I miss the one that's right there. And
also, you have turned down the one way going the wrong way more than once. And that's with me in the car. So I shudder to think how bad you are if I'm not in the car.
But am I or am I not generally? Other than cities, downtowns.
Other than downtowns, you are the, by far, safest driver I know, besides Kid.
Right.
Either one of you, I feel perfectly safe and comfortable being the passenger, and I'm a nervous passenger.
Right. So, I just don't navigate downtowns very well.
You don't.
I don't. Really don't. It's too much. It's too much input. It's too much. It's overload.
I think it hurts your ADHD brain.
Probably, yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
All right, but let's talk about how, drinking is fine. And Proverbs says that wine is a gift from God in chapter 9 of Proverbs.
Okay.
And then God actually likes to have a little dranky poo too.
Does he?
According to Exodus chapter 29, Numbers chapter 15, and Judges chapter 9.
Huh.
Oh, he likes to get his drink on.
All right.
And then the Bible tells us to drink abundantly with our foreskins uncovered. in Song of Solomon, chapter 5, which
with
I
their
forgot about.
foreskins uncovered?
Cocks out. Rock out with your cock
Christ.
out.
All right.
Haven't you ever heard that?
Yeah, no, I
It's
have
in the
heard
Bible.
that. But
Rock out with your cock out is in the Bible.
I didn't know the original was, yeah, okay.
It's in Song of Solomon. What?
for fuck's
Everybody
sake.
knows that.
God.
I mean,
This Bible is so fucking weird. I mean, it just really is.
hang on to that thought, because since we only have 3 questions
Yeah.
for today, I saw something that took me down a rabbit hole. Like, you follow the link and then you read a thing, and it made me laugh.
Okay.
So hold on to that thought.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Rock out with your cock out and foreskins uncovered as you drink.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Number 2.
What kind of animals may we eat? Here's your choices. Ready?
Oh, okay. I get choices.
None, it depends, or any.
I'm going to go, wow, there's 3 choices, huh?
Mhm.
This is a weird, so there must be 3. Okay. All right. I'm going to go with it depends.
Okay.
Because
that's a good one.
there was definitely the cloven hoof stuff and all that.
That's the one I'm about to say. Yeah.
Right.
According to Deuteronomy and Leviticus, don't eat animals that chew the cud or divide the hoof.
Right.
So, yeah, obviously you're right. But
Yeah.
guess what?
Okay.
You're always wrong.
Okay.
So now what's your answer? What kind of animals may we eat? None or any?
I'm gonna go with any, I guess, because like, why would we
Okay,
not be able
sure.
to eat animals? I don't,
Right.
understand.
I mean,
that.
yeah, God agrees, because like after the flood in Genesis, vegan days were done and over.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah.
eat what you like.
Sure.
And then in Deuteronomy chapter 12, God gives permission to eat all the animals.
I mean,
It's fine. It's fine.
they literally keep like animals to eat in flock. I mean, like they have them all over the place.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
they
it's
slaughter
fine.
them for their god.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, all right,
It's fine.
yeah,
Okay, but
yeah.
guess what?
What?
You're
what?
still always wrong.
I call bullshit on that.
Because guess what kind of animals we may eat?
What kind?
None.
I don't understand. I don't remember this. I don't
According
remember
to
this.
Genesis, Proverbs, and the book of Daniel,
The fuck?
you should only eat no animals.
You're gonna have to go over this with me because I missed this. I don't understand what this is.
Well, in Genesis, before the flood,
Yeah.
it was like, everything grows in the planet for you. You don't need to.
Sure.
You don't need to kill to eat.
Was this because they were taking on animals that they can't eat onto the ark?
Probably. I don't know.
Okay. All right. But I feel like that was like circumstantial.
All I know
Maybe,
is that
maybe.
prior to the flood, he was like, don't eat animals.
Right, but that
And
again,
then after the flood, he was like, you can eat some animals.
but that could have been circumstantial because
Yeah,
there's
that's
only
true.
2 of every animal, so you don't want to eat the fucking.
You don't want to eat any of them.
Right. That
But
would be problematic.
but after the flood, when they all got off the ark, he was like, fine, eat the fucking animals.
Which you would think would still be problematic.
It would be more problematic. Because when they were like, just, living in town or like herding their animals, or even prior to that, Garden of Eden or whatever.
Yeah.
They were vegetarians.
But remember how quickly Cain populated the world. So
He
I mean, shit apparently
so
happens
hard.
so quick.
I mean, I have to wonder, like, if it wasn't 9 months
Yeah.
of pregnancy.
I mean, it like went from him and his mom to like cities in no
it
time
was
flat.
cities.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so gross. Anyway, and so then Proverbs, again, I hate to quote as it says there, but it does. It says be vegan. I mean, it doesn't use the word vegan, but it says don't eat meat, bitch.
What does it say exactly?
Don't eat meat, bitch.
It does not say don't eat meat, bitch. You're wrong this time.
I did not copy down the exact phrase because you have told me in the past that I put too many quotes in these episodes.
I see, but I was curious. I want to know about that. Which passage is it?
I didn't even
You didn't write down
that.
the passage?
Not on this one
Holy shit.
because there were 3 different answers.
Okay.
And
all right.
so I wasn't going to write them down.
I just figured
all
since
3.
we only had 3 questions, you could.
Okay, listen. You give me instructions and I follow them. You make complaints and I change the format to make you happy.
Right.
So
right.
I'm sorry. I am always wrong. And then in Daniel, it's not that it tells us don't eat meat.
Okay.
It's just that Daniel is like, oh no, we can't eat meat. Now, I don't necessarily think that's the best example. I think that Daniel was turning down Nebuchadnezzar's meat. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that was, again, circumstantial.
It had been sacrificed or blessed to another god.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know that. That was something that was suggested in one of our Q&A episodes as to why he would have turned down Nebuchadnezzar's food from his table.
Okay, all right.
And the answer was because it had probably already been blessed to Nebuchadnezzar's god. But it doesn't say that, though. So Daniel was like, no, we don't eat meat. Thanks. Sorry. And, like, told the guard, can we just, like, do veg? Just let us do it for a week.
Sure. Yeah. No, I remember that. But again, that was...
Circumstantial.
It was circumstantial.
Yeah.
And I just did was it Psalms or Proverbs you said the other one was in?
Psalms.
Psalms.
No, I'm sorry, Proverbs.
Proverbs. Okay. Yeah. Because I just did a search for both just to see if I could come up with the passage because I am curious.
All right. I found it. Okay.
Yeah.
It is Proverbs chapter 23, verse 20. And it says, be not among wine bibbers. Like,
Okay.
I guess people that drink a lot of wine and shit.
Sure.
Among riotous eaters of flesh.
But so riotous eaters of flesh, though.
Don't be eating that flesh.
Right, but riotous seems to indicate that you shouldn't overindulge, not necessarily not eat at all.
I mean, I guess it depends on, does the adjective riotous belong to the eaters of flesh, or does it belong to the eaters who are happening to eat flesh? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Is it riotous eaters, of flesh?
Right.
Or is it riotous eaters of flesh?
Got it. Okay.
Like, I don't know. Adjectives are hard sometimes.
Right. I still feel like this is a questionable, I'm always wrong. That's all.
Well, you're right.
Ooh. Oh, hey.
Fair enough. All
We're
right.
gonna have to change the name of this episode.
Oh, I wouldn't go that
always
far.
Right, Huh?
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, there were several different answers to what kind of meat you can eat, and mostly you should either not or be very discretionary about what kind of meat you eat.
Okay.
And don't do it in large quantities.
Of course, according to the Bible, not according to us.
Yeah. No. So. Yeah, sorry. Don't be riotous.
You go get that turkey leg at the Ren Fair.
I did, too. That was the whole reason I wanted to go to the Ren Fest. I needed to walk around with a giant turkey leg.
Right.
And then you know what sucked?
What's that?
It didn't even taste that good.
I thought it tasted like ham.
Yeah.
I was weird. I thought it was good, but I was not expecting to bite into a leg of ham.
Yeah, it tasted like ham, and it didn't taste like it was fully cooked to me. Like, I wanted some kind of Thanksgiving turkey leg.
Sure, Sure.
I wanted
that's what I was expecting to bite into turkey.
Yeah.
But it was not that.
I don't think it was turkey.
It almost felt like a mixture of meats. It was really weird.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big leg of something.
It definitely was.
But it did not taste like turkey.
Right.
And I was very distraught because that's all I wanted. We went the year that they had a TARDIS.
They did.
And we got pictures of Kid and their cousin, my sister's youngest.
Yeah.
With one of the doctors.
Well, that was just a random person.
It was the doctor, and I don't want to hear your bullshit.
Oh, okay.
And it was the real TARDIS.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That happened.
That's what happened there.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to hear your bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It's the actual doctor with the actual TARDIS.
We're literally here criticizing the Bible.
Okay, but I'm aware that I'm pretending.
Okay. All right.
And, when pressed, I'm admitting it. But this is my world, and in my world, that sound that the TARDIS makes is wondrous. Did you ever hear that story of the girl who was asleep in her car in a parking garage? She was between meetings or something, and she was just resting her eyes and napping, and her windows were down, and all of a sudden she heard the sound of the TARDIS, and she woke up and leaped out of her car and screamed, "Wait, I'm here, I'm ready." But it was just somebody's ringtone.
Wait, this is for real?
Yes.
That's hilarious. Where did you see that at?
I don't know. The internet.
Okay. All right.
It was something that was going around on Facebook for a while, and all I could think was, But I understand
I
that
feel
feeling.
like that was put on. I feel like that was like a setup scenario.
I don't know, because I could totally see me doing that. Like, I'm coming out of a sleep and the other night, right? I had this nightmare that this giant spider was on me, like the size of like a kitten.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to the point that like I can still imagine how its claw felt through the blanket and through my shirt. And so in my sleep, I was calling for a kid to come help me to get this thing off of me. And I was like very proud of myself because I was like not panicking. I was being very still because I did not want this son of a bitch spider to like kill me.
Right.
And the only problem is that I have sleep paralysis where sometimes as I'm coming awake, my mind wakes before my body, even though my mind is still in a dream state.
Right.
So my mind was trying to force my mouth to move. And of course, my mouth wouldn't move because my body was, frozen in sleep state.
Yeah.
And so I've done this often enough that I was aware, I'm dreaming. So instead of continuing to try to force my mouth to move, I rolled quickly off of the bed and threw the blanket across the room so that when I did wake up, I was like on the floor kind of dazed, like, wait, was there a spider? And like logically I knew there's no fucking spider that big unless you're in Australia.
Right.
So I was shaking out the blankets. But my point to that very long, irrelevant, stupid story is that when I'm coming out of a sleep and I have just dreamt something that feels real or that feels like something that I want to be true.
Right.
It can feel real. So I could see that happening.
Got it. Well, to your story, I actually had something land on me tonight. Mm-hmm. And it landed on my fucking forehead. Oh. And it was a stink bug.
Oh my
Only
gosh.
I didn't know that before I squished it on my fucking forehead.
Oh.
That was terrible.
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
It was terrible.
That's sad.
It stunk.
Yeah.
I mean, because it was a stink bug.
Yeah. Yeah.
But why did the stink bug have to land on my forehead?
I don't know.
It's not fair.
So sorry.
It's not fair.
That's not fair. But
No.
I mean, yesterday I tripped walking up concrete steps.
That's not fair either. Yeah.
And not only did I trip going up concrete steps, the thing that I was going, like, kid was taking me out for boba tea.
Yeah.
And when I finally got my legs under me, it turns out that the place we were going was closed for, I can't remember this word. It was closed
renovation.
For renovation. I keep wanting to say reconstruction. No, it was closed for renovation. So, like, I broke my legs for nothing.
But you did end up getting boba tea.
Well, yeah, because me and Kit went somewhere else.
Right.
But I'm just saying, yeah, I feel you. It's not fair.
Right.
It's not fair.
I didn't get anything for squishing a stink bug on my forehead.
Well, you cleaned your face and got the stink bug off of it.
There is that. Yeah, that was, So I still don't feel like that's a fair trade-off.
But you weren't going somewhere in the first place.
No, I wasn't.
You were just standing there.
Right.
So, I mean, that's not the same.
Right.
That's not the same at all.
No.
I got boba because that's what I was going for.
Right.
All right. So, number 3.
Yeah.
Is death final?
Ooh.
That's a hard one. Your choices are yes or no.
Yeah, no, I know. So I'm going to go with my perspective, and that's that, yes, it is absolutely final.
All right. Well, I mean, of course you're right, because in Joshua chapter 23, they mention that the dead are going the way of all the earth.
Yeah.
And then in Isaiah chapter 26, it says they are dead. They shall not live. They are deceased. They shall not rise.
Right.
And then, I mean, we got this in Psalms and Job and Ecclesiastes, those writings.
Sure.
I lumped them all into one little group where they mention dead is dead, bitches.
Right.
Okay.
But then I also know...
You're always wrong.
Right. We end up talking about fucking zombies.
We get zombies.
A million goddamn times in this Bible.
We have zombies up in here.
Zombies for days.
Remember how I said just now that in Isaiah chapter 26, it says they are dead, they shall not live, they are deceased, they shall not rise?
Right.
Guess what? Just kidding. In that same fucking verse.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, that same fucking chapter, not verse, the same chapter.
Yeah.
It says, the dead men shall live, together with my dead body shall they rise. Fucking zombies.
Okay.
And then in Ezekiel chapter 37, it says, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel.
Got it.
Fucking zombies. And then in Daniel, which is the whole point of this, chapter 12, it says, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
And that at the time, we talked about how that was kind of a weird, it was a newer way of
talking about
relating
the rapture or something?
relating to afterlife, and essentially, like it's a more modern, with regard to the Bible, it's a more modern take.
It's closer to the Christian view.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because it's closer to Christian times.
Right, but we're still talking about zombies, though.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking dead people walking around.
Fucking stupid. How about that?
Yeah.
Fucking stupid.
I agree.
All right, so that's all the questions that I have, but I promised a joke.
Okay.
All right, so one of the links that I read led me to another link, to another link, to another link.
Sure.
And I came across something that said, what does Jesus have written on his testicles?
Oh.
And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Okay, here's the thing. I know we're not here yet, but just something to hold on to.
Yeah.
In the book of Revelation, which is the final book of the New Testament.
Sure.
So the last book of the entire Bible.
Right.
Again, we're not there yet.
Not even close.
Right. But there's a verse in there that says, and he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
Okay.
We don't know what a thigh is in the Bible.
Right.
So this is a whole conversation, and this guy says, okay, I'm not so sure about this. Jesus might not have anything written on his testicles, but he does have something written on his thigh, at least if you believe the book of Revelation.
Right.
And then he says, but since thigh is a biblical euphemism for testicle, it may literally be that Jesus has King of Kings and Lord of Lords tattooed on his testicles or, his scrotum or whatever. Wouldn't that be so cool? I'll bet he has King of Kings on one side and Lord of Lords on the other.
Oh, I see.
He's the type.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, okay, so then somebody, I'm sorry, he went on to say, and it would go well with the rest of his outfit. And then he describes more Jesus-y stuff, which I'm not going to read because, again, we're not there yet.
Right.
But then somebody commented on that, wow, that's scary. So on Judgment Day, you'll know it's Jesus if some scary fella teabags you and you see writing on his sack. Got it. And then somebody said, wonder if the Magdalene has a tramp stamp too. Okay.
No, we could make it a thing. Like, if enough people believe that Jesus had these things tattooed on his balls, maybe Christians will go out and start getting their balls tattooed, right?
Oh, you should have seen all of the Christians commenting how horrible this was. And they're like, dude, I'm just reading the fucking Bible.
Right, yeah.
Literally, it says this. And we all know that thigh, and then Christians were like, where does it say that thigh means testicles?
I was about to say, the Christians don't know a goddamn thing about what their Bible says, or means or anything.
And the thing is, it doesn't say that thigh actually means testicle. Right. You would have to actually study outside of the Bible, and they frown on that.
Well, study outside the Bible and understand the translations as they've come down through time and everything like that.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
exactly. And what they would say instead of your fucking nutsack.
Right.
Yeah. Somebody else said, could this tattoo be what Catholic priests zealously look for when hiring a new altar boy?
Oh, Jesus. That's horrible.
Yes, that is horrible.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you can edit that out if you want. That might be one step too far.
It is. We're going to leave it in, but damn.
Yeah. And, yeah, so those were the jokes that I found that I had to share just because I had dick on the brain.
Oh, yeah.
Because it said, the whole rock out with your cock out thing.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
And foreskins.
Okay. All right.
As you're drinking your alcohol, you got to drink it surrounded by foreskins.
Right. You didn't want to beat around the bush. You just kind of stopped dicking around and, pulled out the jokes. So, yeah. I got it.
Exactly.
All right.
You cracked it open.
Anyway, enough of that.
Mm-hmm.
So do you got anything else for us today, or is that
absolutely not? That
absolutely
was way
not.
too far.
All right.
Way too many.
Yeah. So that was our Contradictions episode.
Sure as fuck was.
And that means we are done with Daniel.
Fuck Daniel all the way to Mars and back. And hopefully Josiah is better. Josiah? Hosea.
Hosea.
One
Yeah.
of them dudes.
Right.
Whatever.
You were like mixing like Jeremiah with whatever. I don't know what you were doing.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Isaiah and Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Josiah.
It was like a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger or something coming together to whatever.
I mean, we all know that my brain can't hold too many things at once.
Yeah.
And I'm still stuck on foreskins.
Okay.
I can't be expected to get the name Hosea straight when I'm thinking about dicks.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
I appreciate that.
All right. I think that's all we got today, guys.
You sure as fuck is.
We'll be back. I'll get the weekly wrap up out here. On on Sunday
we're gonna do a book club.
Right. Sorry. So book club on Sunday,
and then the weekly
I'll get the weekly wrap up out, and then on Monday we'll be back with
Foreskins chapter 1. No, Hosea chapter 1.
My wife literally gave a blank stare for a minute, even after we just said the name of the book of the Bible. I just had to point that out.
Well,
all right, guys, have a good day. Well, bye.
Bye.